There's loads of different lootable containers in No Man's Sky, from small ammo boxes to ancient artifact crates. But what's the best one to consistently loot? Well, if you're chasing a heap of money, obviously the artifacts are going to be where you want to go, with items over 2 million units being on the line. But these are very few and far in between, and require you to take on a rather large sentinel walker at times. Going over the various containers in the game, there is one that outshines the rest for its availability and loot. Requiring an Atlas Pass V1 to open this bad boy is actually a buildable object that you can place multiples of all around your base. To get your hands on an Atlas Pass V1, you can unlock the blueprint to craft it from the synthesis lab on the Anomaly for 250 nanites, or found in manufacturing facilities and operations centers. Once you have the blueprint, simply bring up your inventory and craft the pass with 200 copper and 1 microprocessor. Now you are all set to loot the barrel caches. Let's cover the loot you can receive from them. The main reason you would want to have a decent amount of these to farm is going to be for the navigation data. Obtainable at a rate of 46%, it's the most common thing you can receive from these barrels. Nav data is used to purchase navigational maps from the cartographer on the space station. The maps can be used to find crashed ships, ancient artifacts, and even new settlements all across the star system. There are other maps and locations to discover through the use of nav data, but these are just a few of the things you can find. On top of this, you can also grab the items required to craft warp cells for your hyperdrives and even the warp cell itself. Coming in at a rate of 6% for the antimatter, 10% for the housing, and 4% for the cell, this method is a super easy way to keep your hyperdrives fueled up. Lastly, you also have a rather large chance of getting a decent stack of around 25 condensed carbon from each of the barrels. That covers the loot and the main reason for farming these barrels. Now let's get into setting up a farm. For just 1 salvage data, you can unlock the barrel fabricator through the blueprint analyzer. Now that you have access to building it, they require 10 ionized cobalt and 1 antimatter to build. Ionized cobalt can be made from refining standard cobalt at a rate of 2 to 1, or purchased from some galactic trade terminals depending on the system you're in. Cobalt can be obtained by mining stalagmites in caves and will be massed extremely fast. For the antimatter, you will require 25 chromatic metal and 20 condensed carbon. Both of these materials can be obtained by refining their lesser minerals of copper and carbon. If you haven't noticed already, the barrels themselves can produce antimatter and therefore contribute to replicating themselves easily if you have a nice amount of ionized cobalt ready to go. Now we have everything we need, let's set up the farm. These barrels can be placed inside of your bases on a planet or even inside of your freighters, but for now we're going to stick with the planetary farming. Opening up the build menu, I'm going to place down 5 barrels, as that is all of the antimatter I currently have, and loot them until I receive more antimatter to continue expanding the farm. The way you will want to farm the barrels is by placing your ship very close by, looting all of the caches, then enter and leave your ship, creating an autosave point, and then reloading that autosave. For consistent farming, this autosave method is required, as normally the barrels have a timer of several minutes before the loot is restocked and lootable again. So I've been at this for a little while and I've already expanded my farm to 20 containers through the antimatter that I've received, and I have a heap of nav data and warp cells. You can create this farm to be as big or as small as you want and loot it for as long as you'd like. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this helped you out with nav data troubles or you learned something new. Please consider subscribing to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.